And obviously, because it was a church conference, I thought that it was going to be a lot about God. To my surprise, even though Jesus was at the center of it, it wasn't. And I was able to learn about proper leadership. But there was something that the organizer said that's really stuck with me. And it was when she asked, "What are you still holding on to?" I'm going to assume that everyone in this place, even though I can't see any of you guys, has gone through certain painful situations, whether it be the death of a loved one, the feeling of a heartbreak, or the never-ending feeling of oncoming darkness. We've all felt these things. We know what pain feels like. Maybe right now we're sitting here and we feel hopeless, like there's no one there to help us, or helpless, like there is no way out there. But when we go through pain, we continue holding on to it. And that's our flaw. We don't stand up against it, and instead become enslaved by them. To our pain and dwelling on it, than it is to get through it, than it is to look at the good things, and to in our adversities. When we're in pain, when we're in this jail cell, anything hurts us. You were rejected, that's a 3-year sentence. You didn't get a good grade, that's a 5-year sentence. They're making fun of you again, 10-year sentence. Your parents called you fat, useless, and disappointment, any negative name you can think of, 15-year sentence. It's much, like I said, it's much easier to dwell on our pain and continue feeling that pain than it is to look at the good things in our adversities. What am I still holding on to right now that is hindering my growth? Maybe we went through a breakup and it hurts a lot because you loved that person. But instead of viewing that as a permanent pain, we should view it as a chance for us to get to know ourselves better. Our mindsets can have a lasting effect on what path we end up taking in the middle of our adversities. Once we leave this place today, once we leave this place, through any of the exits, will you be happy with who you are? For those still in school, once we leave school and the positions in clubs or in sports don't matter, will you be happy? Once our grades don't matter anymore, once none of the things that we do here matter because we're in the real world, are we happy with who we are or who we've become? Are we defined by our grades that we get on a report card each quarter or by that GPA? We have lived in a society and we have built an environment where we let our GPA determine our character. But that's not true, because honestly, the kids who take AP classes can be the meanest, most irresponsible kids. And the college kids that everyone just diminishes and pushes aside can have the biggest hearts and can have a brighter future than even me. It's not right for us to create and continue this environment where a single number on a paper that you can easily rip determine our character. We were dealt a bad hand because we live in a place where our school culture has promoted getting good grades and not being good to each other, not being good to ourselves. We live in a place where we promote getting good grades and not learning who we are and not learning what it is to have an identity. For me, it was my grades. That was my big issue and mountain that I had to climb. That was my Goliath that I had to battle. I thought that if I didn't have the good grades, I wasn't anyone. I thought that if I didn't get the perfect score on X and Y, my parents wouldn't love me and my friends would leave me. I thought that the only thing that made me me was my grades. And whenever I got my report card, I'd be happy not because they were good or whatever, but because I thought that that made me someone. I had the flawed mindset in believing that 100 or that high grade made me who I was. And I continued it. It got so bad to where I wouldn't eat, I wouldn't sleep because I was busy studying. I was busy studying so that I could be prepared for the math test, so I could be prepared for that test. Because I didn't want people to see that I wasn't perfect. I thought that the only thing I had to my name were my grades. And if I didn't excel in that, if I didn't excel in school, my friends would see that maybe I am no one, maybe they would see that I'm not perfect and they leave me. I was so scared of being left alone, and I thought that the only reason why people around me were with me were because I had good grades. And right now I feel like, yeah, it's so easy to think that that's dumb, but I feel like a lot of us have felt that way. I didn't want to continue. I didn't want to continue eating or sleeping because I wanted that grade. That grade was that desire for a grade was bigger than my desire to actually be healthy. So I know what you're going through. And maybe if I don't, the person next to you might. And I know that the pain gets very hard, and I know that it gets hard to go through the pain. I know that when we're walking, every step hurts, and I see it in your eyes. I see it in the way you're walking, the way you talk. You're not the same anymore. You're not the same anymore. We're not better, but we become worse. But there's different solutions. And the solution that I chose was to let go. Let go of the pain, let go of the hatred. And I'm not saying that your pain isn't big. I'm just saying that you are much bigger than it. I'm not saying that what that person did to you was right, but I'm saying let go of that and don't let it drive you. Don't let that pain drive you and make you who you are, because that's not who you are. Let go of the bad habits and let go of the fear of seeking help. And don't give a care about what society says about getting help, because getting help is just you wanting to be the better you. Don't think that getting help makes you weak, because the second you admit that you're weak, the second you admit that you're broken, is the second that you prove that you are much stronger than a lot of us. I had the speech finished, and I was going to end it around here with a good drop the mic moment, like we are taught to do in our English essays. But then I went through a very bad, probably one of the worst months I've ever gone through. And every day was a struggle. Waking up was a struggle. I would fall asleep with my pain right next to me, and I'd wake up with it again next to me. I was holding on to a whole lot of pain. I thought that I lost a lot of people in my life, and that scared me. I had a lot of negative thoughts and negative feelings overcome me, and like I've been saying, the thoughts became so loud. They just were so loud, and I couldn't handle it anymore. I would cry every day, and when I say this, I'm not exaggerating. Almost for an entire month, I would cry. And it was a horrible month, and I just didn't want to let go of the pain, because I didn't want to go through. I didn't want to change, and I didn't want to deal with the pain. And one of my friends told me, "Hey, Nyckole, you should listen to your speech. Let go of it." And I realized I should, but it was so hard. It is so hard to just let go of our pain. It is so hard to simply let go, because honestly, I really don't know why. Probably because it's much easier to, like I said, much easier to hold on to our pain than it is to think of the good things. I didn't want to let go, but I'm glad that I did. And I didn't just let go. It came to a moment where I gave up. I didn't give up the fight, but I gave up trying to hold this front that I had. I wanted everyone to think that I was perfect. And I wanted everyone to think that I was X and Y. But when I let go of that front and I let the pain embrace me, that was when I was able to actually change. And right now, I'm not going to tell you that I'm not sad. But even though I'm sad, I'm happy. And those moments where I am sad, I'm still happy, because I know how to deal with my pain now. I know that I shouldn't hold on to it. What we need to do is we need to let go and take the pain and take the issues we have and take it head on. Let go of yourself. Let go of who you think you are, just for a second, and let yourself be loved and let yourself be helped. Because that's a hard thing to do, but it's something needed, because we can't get through all of this alone. I have the 22 and I can't even read my handwriting. Okay. We're all dealt a bad hand. Because again, that is what life is. We're dealt a bad hand, and we've continued this environment, we've continued this, and if we don't stop, if we keep continuing this mindset, we only hurt the generations to come, our little siblings, our children. We don't change how we see things, if we don't change this course, they will be affected with the things that we are affected. If we think that we can't get, if we think that our pain right now is hard, the people that come after us are also going to go through it. When we focus all of our energy, when we go through pain, we end up focusing all of our energy onto it. And it's like a game of tug of war. You hold onto that rope, and you grip it hard, and you squeeze it hard, and you pull, because you want to win. You pull and you pull. But the more you pull, the harder you grip it, it's the more your hands will stay, the more you feel your skin grip. And the second you let go, it's the second you feel relief. You get overcome by a wave of relief. And that's how we are. When we hold on to our pain, and we only hold on to it with a negative way of thinking, we only hurt it, or we only hurt ourselves more. We make it harder for us to move on. We make it harder for us to learn and move on. But right now, I have one piece of advice, and that's to let go and fall. And honestly, let yourself be affected by pain. Let go, fall, cry, yell. But then after all of that, you have to stand up. Stand up against those circumstances. Stand up because what your grades say don't determine who you are. The past you live doesn't determine who you are. What other people think of you don't determine who you are. But your character, how you deal with things, do. I'm not here to diminish your pain. I'm not here to do any of that, but I'm here to tell you that you are stronger than it. To let go, let yourself be embraced by pain. But stand up. You have to stand up because there's no use of feeling pain and not standing up. And if you're crawling on the floor, you're still moving. You don't have to stand up and walk. You just have to get up from the floor and stop laying down. Thank you.